It was my first experience in Philippines because I moved in here a few months back, and I was always told PMAP conference is one of the most energizing ones. So I was looking forward to it more as a participant. It was just an icing on the cake that I was invited to speak. It was really good to have a room filled with about 300 professionals, and they're so glued into what I had to say. So great experience.
Wow. Right. Do you realize that you were located in one of the bigger rooms? This is a ballroom because I came from downstairs and there are smaller function rooms simply because they added all the number of participants and there are more people here very interested in listening to you, right?
Well, I think it sort of was surprising to me as well because I never came here thinking such a large gathering would be there, but I thought it's a large conference broken into smaller rooms. I was expecting maybe 50 to 100. 300 was good. It's quite energizing when you have to speak to such a large gathering.
Now, you know that there are over 2,000 delegates here and started yesterday all the way up to tomorrow. Now, for those who could not be here because they also have to go and see other sessions, can you please, just in a few sentences, explain to us why the title Radically Future-Proofing Performance Management. So in layman's language, because not everybody will understand that right away.
Yeah, and performance management is changing the last few years, especially since the global financial meltdown. Each and every company is trying to look at how performance management can strategically help them build a culture that will help them win as a company. And it used to be a very standard approach in the past, but as we grow as organizations, more and more companies are figuring it out that it cannot be just another HR activity at the end of the year. It has to be a strategically driven activity which helps them identify the right system, right method of talking performance, and thereby they can create the right impact, or rather measure the right impact, which moves the organization further. At least what I shared was the Microsoft story, how 2 years back we realized that as a company we were at a point where we had to change. We had to change for the better, to become more relevant, more competitive, and more innovative as a company. And while we were looking at our strategy, our leadership, our people, one of the key pieces was our system of performance management, because our previous system was more focused on differentiating people or identifying individual performers. We needed to move into a system which was more, which actually drove cultural themes like collaboration, innovation, and things like that. So we went and changed it from a future standpoint, and our key objective was this system should drive our company forward. And in 2 years, we have seen some very early but very positive indicators, and I thought it was a great opportunity to, rather making it a very theoretical, I made it a very practical story of Microsoft's 2-year journey and how we have looked at future performance management.
Now, please correct me if I'm wrong. This is just from the layman's understanding, is that you have gone deeper. I mean, you used to have all these other things, performance management, but this time you have gone somewhat deeper, correct?
Yeah, so it was not a procedural change, I would put it that way. It was a systemic change for us. So to that end, yes, when you make a systemic change which comes out after a deep diagnosis about where the company is today and where it would like to be in the future, and if that is the end state we want to be, then what would be some of the systemic shifts we need to make, what sort of leadership we should have, what sort of strategic path we need to be walking on, and to aid that, what sort of performance systems, communication systems, or cultural systems we need to have. When we ask those questions, obviously the answer and the solutions that come out is very deep. So I believe this is a much deeper change. It is not a cosmetic procedural change. but a very surgical, deep change, really, and that's why it's yielding a fairly a robust shift in the way Microsoft is being perceived in the market and the kind of company we are today.
Right. Now, curiosity. I just want you to give us an idea as to the different challenges in India, because of course you come from India, right? Yeah, between the challenges in India and challenges in the Philippines. For example, the number one challenge here, you must have heard, is the traffic situation. Is that true for India, or you have some other big challenges?
See, I think the challenges of emerging nations are very similar, and that's what I have believed. I come from a country which is infrastructurally challenged, primarily not because of anything. It's just that the population numbers are so high and the size of the country is small. So obviously it's always going to sort of burst in the seams to some degree. Philippines also had a very similar problem that it is populated a nation. At the same time, large section of the population resides in few pockets of the country, and that's where the infrastructure really gets challenged. And I believe both these. I've seen the similar challenges happen in India, and I'm seeing it here, and that's why evolution of technology is critical, because productivity, if it needs to continue in spite and despite these infrastructural challenges, can only happen if government and other technical companies or technological companies are focused on making availability of technology and the play of it much simpler and inexpensive for people to leverage. We have seen that in India. It's quite affordable now, and I comparatively I find it a little more expensive in Philippines, especially things like broadband and things like say fiber and all this stuff. And I believe in a couple of years, and that's where I feel it's a very pivotal year with new government coming in, new policies taking shape. I just believe that those things become more affordable for more and more people to start, working from anywhere rather than being limited to just office premises.
Right. No. I know that you're very technically driven, but I'm sure you're also aware that different personalities, sometimes can clash in the workplace. Yes. So what percentage would you say that personalities will still have something to do with performance management as compared to just the technical part of it?
Yeah. No, I think that's the beauty. I think any performance management must have the inclusion element built in. That it should not be, it should be personality agnostic in a way, but at the same time, it should be able to bring the beauty and the strength of that every personality brings to the work system. We believe that innovation can only happen when people with introverted personalities, or people with outgoing personalities, or people with technical bent of mind, or non-technical or philosophical bent of mind, all of these different mindsets sort of come together and do work collectively. And that's when the real innovative brilliance of a work culture comes out. And any system that is able to bring this alive would be the right system. And I believe that performance management should be intentional in this rather than leaving it for chance.
So you are not one of those leaders that seem to think. There are some, not everyone, but I know I've heard of some leaders who would rather separate, okay, introverts here, extroverts there, and they don't like to mix them up. Yeah. So you are not of the same opinion. You're not in that same mold.
So as a company, we are not. We certainly believe that we can be a winner only when all kinds of mindsets and personality types work together. We do find stereotypical conversations happening that X profession has more concentration of extroverted mindsets, or Y profession has concentration of X kind of introverted mindsets. But that's just, as I said, those are just conjectures. I believe, or that's my personal belief, and I also see Microsoft adopting similar philosophy, is that we have to be highly inclusive. There should not be any personality-based, gender-based, or thought-based, or education-based differentiation. We believe that it's all about what you bring to the table, and the holistic or the cumulative knowledge and experience and thoughts that we create by including all kinds of people can build a better company. And we are looking at a future towards that. And
Well, there you are. You heard him. Thank you so much. In such a short time, I got a good glimpse into your session and why you seem to have attracted a lot of delegates here to hear you out. And congratulations that you were chosen by your company to represent Microsoft here. And you know, of course, that you're famous all over the world.
as a company, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. Congratulations and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Shil.
Truly privileged. Thank you.